American government, the British government, any of the different governments out there that are these evildoers. And, Iran once said about Israel and the America, Iran said that we were the big Satan and Israel was the little Satan. Are we these terrible beings? Have we created a government that is so terrible that we have gone away from what our forefathers really envisioned the United States to be? So these are things that we're going to talk about. And we'll also talk about some really fun stuff as well. Esoteric knowledge, magic, dark magic, white magic, all kinds of different things. We'll get into Christianity. We'll get into the OTO, which is a satanic organization. We're going to have Leo Zagami. He's a 33rd degree Freemason. Also, if you've ever heard of the Memphis Mizraim is another area of the Freemasonic way, and that actually goes all the way up into a 98th degree. So you have a 98th degree Freemason who was brought up in the esoteric Illuminati, the aristocrats. His grandfather used to run what they called the P2 Lodge out of Monte Carlo, which was fully Illuminati based. And Leo is going to be coming out with an American version in regards to the Confessions of the Illuminati. And that is a volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And he is going to convert that from Italian into English. And we have a great publishing company that's going to help him with that, and that is CCC Publishing. And they are going, that is Brad Olson. Brad and Leo Zagami are going to be on the show here, 32 Degrees of Insanity, on the 18th of September. It's absolutely going to be a phenomenal show. I ask you all to come and listen to that show, and we'll start it up at 9 o'clock, going all the way till 11. And then also on October 2nd, Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower, will be joining me here. You want to set your dials for this because we are going to talk about the time travel program. We're going to talk about something called Project Pegasus. Project Pegasus is a time travel program that actually one of our dear friends, Andrew Brazago, who will be running for president in 2016, according to these time travel programs, Andrew Brazago is supposed to be the next president of the United States. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that, and that'll be happening on October 2nd. A lot of good things will be happening. We're going to be bringing on some of the great hosts that we have here at Kbeach to talk about these things. We'll have kind of roundtable sessions. We got a lot of things that we want to talk about here on 32 Degrees of Insanity with Kbeach and being right here at 88.1 FM. This is absolutely phenomenal. I want to introduce tonight, because I haven't had a chance to introduce him yet. Ben, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Ben, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot tonight.
Ben, what are you? What do you do for me?
I'm your co-host. I chime in now and then and offer insights.
You do. Isn't this exciting that we're now on a new platform? Did you see the new logo I threw up on the Facebook page?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. The good old, if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about it, it's really easy. You can go to www.truthfrequencyradio.com. That is our main site. We will also have, there you can look up 32 Degrees of Insanity. You can figure out what we are about. You listen to our archives and such. We also are on Spreaker. All of our old archive shows are on Spreaker. And if you really want to get back into some real deep archives of Donny Yolson at 32 Degrees of Insanity, you could listen to the old Freedomizer Radio Network and find us on Blog Talk. So those are some interesting things. We've talked about some really weird stuff over the years, and we're really going to be heading in a different direction here. We're going to be heading for a more, how would you say, a more informational type of format. And now that we are here at Kbeach, we want to explore a lot of different subject matters. And, you, the listener out there, we would love to hear from you guys on what type of information you would like to hear. And we will do the research on it. And we will bring you the facts, and we will bring you everything that you need to know about anything when it comes to conspiracy theories or even government for that, and that's, where we'll go from there. But anyways, Ben, it's so good to have you on with the show. I feel like so at home here in this studio. It's so nice. Do I sound a lot better?
Yeah, you do.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
I feel a lot better, although we had a little hiccup when we first came on.
Yeah.
Tonight. Well, I forgot because last week we took some time off because I'm a senior here at California State University in Long Beach, and that's exactly where our studios are, right here at CSULB. And last couple of weeks, it's just been very busy. We've been starting with school, and all the students are getting back and all of this good stuff. And I tell you, the student body here is absolutely incredible. One of the guys I want to get on this show right here at CSU Long Beach, if he's listening out there tonight, I would really love to get you on the show. His name is Kevin McDonald, Professor Kevin McDonald. Here on this, he is supposedly in the psychology department. He is supposed to be like one of the, he's the conspiracy here at California State University, Long Beach. He is the conspiracy. And he has written a book that is up there, I guess, supposed to be on the level as Mein Kampf or anything that's written by Karl Marx. This guy has kind of gotten pushed out by, he was a tenure here. He is a tenure here. And he got kind of pushed out from being an instructor here, and he's now going to be retiring. So I want to get him on the show and find out a little bit more about what he wrote about. I guess it was, some of the stuff was very anti-Semitic. So I'm interested in learning about, but these are the type of subject matter that we're going to bring up in 30. We're going to go no holds barred here. We want to press things. And following 32 Degrees of Insanity, we have a pretty interesting sex show after this. So you want to stick around for that. Anybody that's listening, that's been Truth Frequency listeners, if you want to listen to Kbeach, we have some great programming here on Kbeach as well. So it's going to be phenomenal. But tonight is all about my dear brother, my dear friend, guess you can call him my employer or whatever you want to call him, Chris Geo of the Chris Geo Show, and his beautiful wife, Sheree Geo, out there in Denver, Colorado, joining us tonight on our platform as we talk about some very, very interesting subjects, as we talked about ISIS and IRIS and all of these different things, that these planes that disappeared. Is ISIS, are we invoking the goddess Isis and the ALS challenge? Was that some sort of satanic thing? We were talking about Katy Perry's and the Dark Horse. We were talking about the Illuminati and how the Illuminati is very much showing its presence out in Hollywood and here in good old Long Beach. We're not too far from the LA market. And when Chris and Sheree were here, they got married a couple years back, and I moved to Los Angeles a couple years ago. And when they came here, one of our first places that we went to was Hollywood. And we went to see, the whole Kodak Theater, which is now the Dolby Theater. And what we saw was absolutely phenomenal, because a lot of the things that I talk about, I am known for my research in Nibiru, Planet X, I call it the ELC 20049-DNY system. I believe that there is a large system moving in, which will be here probably around 2025. If we can, by that time, hopefully we can control the weather by that time, that when this dark celestial object does come in, that we will be safe, and, we'll see what happens. But we want you to understand that, things are changing. This world is changing. So many things are changing, and we need to be well aware. We need to be educated, and we need to not fear, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to feel the energy. They want you to fear. They want you to be in panic mode the whole time, because that's what they feed upon. And we did a whole show on these things called the archons, which are these extraterrestrial type of beings, multi-dimensional beings, and we'll probably do another show all about the archons as well. But with that being said, I want to bring Chris Geo and Sheree Geo back to the show. Welcome. It is 9:56 in the p.m., Thursday, September 4th, 2014. And before we do the top of the hour here, I'll do a little top of the hour, good old call letters here. This is Kbeach Radio, 88.1 FM, HD3 and kbeach.org right here in Los Angeles and Long Beach, California. Chris and Sheree, welcome back to the show.
Fantastic. Sounds great, Donny.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Let me finish up what I'm talking about real quick.
Sure.
So in the age of Taurus, we worshipped Moloch, and Moloch, we thought that we had to do child sacrifices to Moloch. Then the age of Aries came, which is represented by the ram. And so Moses blew the ram horn, and he gave us rams to sacrifice and lambs and all these other really weird laws. But at least we had a consciousness shift at the time, and we realized that we really don't have to sacrifice our children to make the crops grow and to do all that like we thought that we had to do with Moloch. And then we had another consciousness shift in the age of Pisces. And in the age of Pisces, Jesus came. And that's why the Christians are represented by the Jesus fish, and Jesus found fishermen, and he fed people with fish, and he has fish symbolism over and over and over again.
Well,
and he came down.
Also, the fish symbol was used by the Gnostics to show where they would go and worship and talk about what Jesus was talking about as well. That was one of the reasons why they made the fish symbol. Anyways, go on.
Okay. Well, it was still happening in the age of Pisces.
Of Pisces.
Anyway, it goes, yeah. So we just entered the age of Aquarius. Jesus instructed us to go find the man with the pitcher of water, walk into the house that he leads you into, and we have. And so now here we are in the age of Aquarius, and we had another consciousness shift, and I think that's what the whole ISIS thing is: fear ISIS, kill ISIS, et cetera, et cetera. It's esoterically speaking, it is the wisdom, it's the consciousness shift, it's changing things. Fear the change, don't change things. Raise somebody to come and help us to take care of this consciousness shift that's going on. Submit to ignorance and fear wisdom is basically the message that's going on. Because there is a new Messiah coming, and that new Messiah has to be a water-bearing Messiah. Mm-hmm. And who bears the water?
We all do.
We all do.
We all do.
We're all water.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We come from the water. I mean, even the Pope, even the Catholic Church, all they wear this huge thing is because that's the fish god.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and what do all of them want to do to you the minute they get you in the church is they want to baptize you. They always want to pour water over your head.
Well, here's the thing,
because you're the fish.
When I'm a born again Christian in 2006, I said yes to Jesus Christ, and I actually went and got baptized in the lake. And you know what they called that lake? They called that lake the Lake of Fire.
Yes.
And now with this, which I found ironic, because when we got baptized as Christians and we went to the Lake of Fire, what kind of thought was kind of funny is now this ISIS or this ALS water challenge, this ice bucket challenge, now they're getting baptized in ice cold water.
What they're trying to do ultimately is provoke a nuclear war, a World War III, because that's the only way that they can maintain their control. With every dark ritual like 9/11, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, they can push forward an agenda, which was the Patriot Act and total state of tyranny. On the other hand, it wakes a lot of people up. So they need a huge event. They need an event right now that was so large scale that even if it did wake a bunch of people up because of the amount of puppetry that goes into orchestrating the event, it still doesn't matter because the outcome is greater than the consciousness shift that takes place as a result of the event. So that's what they're looking for, in my opinion. And I think what they're setting up for is to have ISIS detonate a nuclear weapon here in the United States somewhere. And what's happening esoterically is that people are baptizing themselves and purifying themselves for the sacrifice, for the offering to ALS. And so it's not that everybody who's done the ice bucket challenge is going to be part of the sacrifice. What happens is that if they can detonate a nuclear device in any city, then they have a bunch of people who have participated in that purification ritual. And so that's the offering to ALS, and everybody else is just collateral damage.
That's some scary stuff. That's a scary thought. It really is. I mean, and this is, we've had this ALS thing, and then also we had the Ferguson thing that was happening recently. And I thought it was kind of interesting that when over the summer, if we remember, we had the Bundy Ranch thing. And when the law enforcement officers came to the Bundy Ranch, these militia-type individuals were ready to basically take out law enforcement. But in Ferguson, it was the opposite around. They came in with all this military weaponry. They basically, created this hysteria in Ferguson, Missouri. What do you think? There's anything that matches up to this Ferguson thing and this ISIS and IRIS? Do you think there's was it just because they wanted to put our attention over here to keep this attention over here while they stole the 11 commercial aircrafts? Because that 11 commercial aircrafts was done last month, and we just really found out about it now.
It all works together. It's all interconnected, and you'll find traces leading back to every event. There was a French travel agency that was warning their people for the last year to stay away from Ferguson because something was going to happen in Ferguson. So I believe that the situation in Ferguson was orchestrated, was created. I don't even know if this Mike Brown guy who supposedly got shot actually exists.